It's Next Fest, guys, on Steam. That means there's a shit ton of demos out there for everybody to try out. Back in the day, we used to have demos for nearly every game that came out. They'd be on covers of magazines, on the CDs and things like that. So this is something that used to be a thing, but it's just kind of gone. When everybody's pre-ordering like pricks, you don't need demos, do you? So I've been through the whole list. There's about 100. I haven't played them all, but I've been looking down, reading about them, looking at a little bit of footage, and I've pulled a few out and played them that I thought might be good. The first one is Exion, or however you pronounce it. It's kind of like a colony space. It's like a bit like Space Startopia, a review I did, I think it was a couple of years ago. Basically, you're on a space station and you have to survive. You have to survive by scavenging the shit that's around there in the solar system and beyond, guys. You can go beyond your solar system. Now, the problem with this demo is it's really too short. It doesn't really get into it enough to give you that feeling of whether you want to buy it or not. If I was just a punter, I wouldn't know whether I wanted to buy this or play this demo. It needed a little bit more, but what it does give you, it gives you gameplay in our current solar system. It allows you to go and mine, harvest resources, explore strange things on the Mars base and on the Moon base. It allows you to build different buildings inside your space station and on the outside, as well as build an engine for it, which actually propels you out of our solar system and into the next one. The interface is alright, I guess. It's very easy to play. How hard it's going to be, no idea, because again the demo was just a little bit too short for me. But if you're into sort of colony space station kind of stuff, then this is definitely one to have a look at. It's free after all, but these demos aren't on forever. They might only be on for a couple of weeks, so don't hang around if you're wanting to actually go and have a look at these. The next one I played, guys, was Tankocracy. Now, this is a weird one. I quite like this one. It is a little bit basic in the actual demo. How this works is you get you get 3 tanks. It starts off with 1 as the game ramps up a little bit, but you then get 3 tanks. You're kind of like a mercenary unit. You take job contracts to do certain things. You can pick resources up on the battlefield as well, but ultimately you get paid a price for doing what you're doing, and that allows you to upgrade and buy better units for the next mission. There was a game I played, probably on the Amiga, might have been the early PC, could have been, it was on Commodore 64, where you were like an air force and you did this kind of stuff. I really loved it. It was a bit RPG as well. But this one, it's a very simple concept. You just use the arrow keys or the WASD keys, or whatever you want. You can rebind your keys to control your tank. The turret's moved with the mouse. You've got different armaments. There's the sabot, there's the heat, and things like that. There's 2 others. There's missiles as well. It does follow the realistic armor of tanks, where the front end's you're going to get least penetration. The rear end and the sides are the weak points. You can go hull down as well, so can the enemy. So there's either arcade or there's realism mode as well. So if you don't want to get into too much stuff, you can just put it on arcade mode. But even on arcade mode, you have to kind of have the right tools for the job. For example, if you want to create an explosion on a tank with the ammo, you use heat, because that's, high explosive. That's what it kind of stands for. Whereas sabot is more a piercing to get through into the innards of the tank. So it is fun. The missions were all right as well. The enemy AI, it probably needs tweaking a little bit, but from the what you get, the little feel of it gives you the feel of the graphics and how it runs and how the tank feels when you fire it. I enjoyed it. I really did. I thought it was a quite a unique little game. I haven't played anything quite like this for a long time. There used to be games like this back in the day, but this certainly brought back a few little memories from similar type of games that I'd played back in the day. So Tankocracy, I recommend. If you like the look of it, it does feel quite nice when you're playing it, even if it is a little bit on the easy side. Now, the next one is Rogue Command. Now, I really like this game. This game has quite a lot of potential. It's an RTS with roguelike elements. I mean, this is, to my knowledge, this has never been done, with cards, with a deck building inside it as well. Basically, what you have to do, you start off with an engineer. It's a bit like, remember Total Annihilation, where you had your builder, He was like your engineer, if you like. He built the buildings. Well, you have that in this, and then you start building your buildings, such as your refinery, your harvesters, and your war factories, which produce your units. Now, at the beginning of the game, you just get a basic factory. You also get this rush module. I don't know what it's called, but when you place it down, it has an area of effect around it, which gives your units the rush boost, which makes them work faster, fire faster, and things like that. So it's important that you have them around your units when they're in combat and when they're harvesting. And as you beat the first enemy on the map, you will beat it, game's over in that sense. For that level, you will get an upgrade card given to you at random. Well, you get a choice of 3 actually, and that can be all kinds of stuff. Some of them are quite up, some of them I thought were shite. So there's your RNG going on there. But as you build up your cards, you take them into the next level, if you know what I mean. So you're going to get more powerful as you go, but so does the enemy. And that's where the game is. That's where the fun is. It's about getting the right build going on, having some really good cards, and making the units sort of insane. But the rules of RTS combat apply here. You've got all the shortcuts that you would expect from an RTS game. You've got attack move and all of that kind of stuff. You can build a few refineries, get a whole load of factories going, and you can really pump out the units. And this game doesn't kind of piss about with, oh, you can't build any more units. Straight off the bat, you can build like 100 units, which is really cool. And with the cards going on, you can have some really powerful combos. I had these spiders that were, every time a certain unit fired, it had a 10% chance of creating spider bots, which would also spawn and attack the enemies. And that procced quite often. It was really good fun. The enemy don't piss about either. They come straight after you. They'll, as soon as the game gets going, they'll be sort of plotting your demise, and they'll hit your base within the first 2 minutes. You've got to be prepared for this. You've got to be able to defend your base, although the first 3 levels I never really had to. But the difficulty ramps right up. You get 5 levels in the demo. Level 4 is a huge ramp up from level 3, and level 5 is a huge ramp up from level 4. Level 5's just actually kicked my ass. I've just played it for the first time and got spanked. The problem with this game is it has a timer, and I have no idea why it has a timer. Is it an artificial difficulty? I don't know. It needs to go. The timer made no sense to me. It didn't bring anything to the game at all. I would love to play some of these levels over an hour or 45 minutes or something, because it is quite fun. It gets a bit tug-of-war-y. It's really good, but then the timer just spoils everything because it makes you just rush when you don't really want to. You want to build up a bigger force, get a few more refineries going, you know, and yeah, I don't know why the timer's there. Another thing that I didn't like about this, it has cliffs and you can be in an elevated position, but I didn't see that it gave me any extra range at all. So I don't know what the hell the point of that is. Whether I do more damage being elevated, I don't know. I couldn't find any notes on that either. But it has a lot of potential. I think it just needs balancing a bit. Well, not the learning curve. It's an easy game to play, but the difficulty ramp just goes crazy. I think they need to tone that right down. It's just nuts the way it goes in the demo. Maybe it's just because it's a demo. And they certainly need to fix the elevated position, because, you know, it's an RTS, elevated position. You should see further and be able to shoot further. You should have the advantage. Remember Star Wars, guys? So there's 3 demos, well worth checking out. I'll be doing more later on in the week if I get the chance. But we've got Elden Ring coming out, and I'm looking at covering it. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to cover Elden Ring yet. I was going to do Sifu, but apparently I've heard horrible reports from a mouse and keyboard, and I can't hold a controller yet without being in bloody agony. And that game looks like a button mashing thing, so that's me out for that. Elden Ring, I'll have a look at that. If the controls is good for keyboard and mouse, I might give it a go. But it's not a game that appeals to me anyway, because I don't like Dark Souls games. So I'm kind of questioning what the hell's the point. But we'll see. I'll make my decision when the game actually drops, and I'll see what people are saying about it, because I've got a few people that are buying it. I'll have a word with them, and we'll take it from there, guys. But I wouldn't get my review out anyway early, because there's no way I'd get a key for that. So, you know, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. 3 games to think about that are coming out in the future, and you can play them all right now on Steam for the next week or 2. So have at it.